Yeah. What's up, everybody? That is the sounds of Cerulean Gray shutting down the flagship channel for the Gray Regime. I would like to welcome everybody that's coming over from Cerulean Gray's broadcast. Welcome to the OverDrive 3G. We will get started here in a few. Waiting for some people to show up. In the meantime, you know how I do. You know, we're just going to enjoy a little music.
Tell you straight like this. Hey yo, I walk down the block with my stomach in knots. Spend time hustling, running from cops. Broke as a joke, no wins at all. Can't play ball and my Tim's small. Can't buy trees with government cheese. I'd rather be where it's breeze, niggas bump the keys. My mom's got 2 jobs, one of the knees. I'm writing letters to the governor, please call off the keys. My baby mama with another brother with cash. They drive by, roll down the window and laugh. I saw all my problems with Indo and hash. Bought my daughter a Nintendo, now she calling it dad. My landlord's a jerk, the water don't work. My little sister 12, and she bought her own skirt. Rather do dirt than do her homework. Talk blunts and boys, and she'll jump for joy, shit's twisted. Opportunity, not what I missed it. Out in the park, getting lifted. So now I'm sitting here, shit out of luck, without a buck, and it don't make a difference. So yeah, you hear me? Cause if you don't, I come up close and say it clearly. I got to know, I got to go. I strive for my pay each and every way. But this type of shit, it happens every day. It's like I'm trapped in the maze, walk around in the days. I won't rest till I'm paid, on down to my grave. I wanna look tough, but my sneakers is scuffed. Everyday pants and the niggas enough. I had a little money, but it came and it went. Now I see to pay the rent or stay in the tent. And it don't make sense how the shit is intense. You know you got up in your pocket is meant. You get the hit, I had a single bed for breakfast. Just for beginners. Drive for my lunch and sleep for dinner. Try to go to church, priest call me a sinner. They call me everything except for a winner. I'm walking in the rain, wishing things would change. It ain't a game, man. I'm born on the rings and chains. Emotionally scarred from losing my job, past and all. Nigga, times is hard. Now do you hear me? Cause if you don't, I come up and say it clearly. I got to know, I got to go. I strive for my pay each and every way. But this type of shit, it happens every day. Now would you check me? If I was you and you was me, would you respect me? I got to know, I got to go. I strive for my pay each and every day. But this type of shit, it happens every day. Yo, I ain't going front. All I want is a blunt, a pair of blue and yellow dunks, and my hundreds and jumps. But people see me put the person front. I'm waking up early on the first of the month. Honeys no respect when you call them collect. And it's 25 cents, you can call them direct. I put my life on the line, I ain't making a dime. Niggas call me never mind, man, you wasting your time. Hey yo, I'm living in the ghetto and I'm trying to survive. At the same time, a nigga roll the 5 to 5. Can't find a drive for a 9 to 5. It's like I only get by when I'm feeling the high. And I ain't got no smoke. The elevator broke, and at the end of my rope, trying to find a way to go. I'm tipping on gin, thinking how I could win. I don't know where it begins, but this is where it can end. Hey, yo, you hear me? Cause if you don't, I come up close and say it clearly. I got to know, I got to go. I strive for my pay each and every way. But this type of shit, it happens every day. And would you check me? If I was you and you was me, would you respect me? I got to know, I got to go. I strive for my pay each and every way. But this type of shit, it happens every day.
You're listening to
What's up there, Chief Disaster? All right, everybody, thanks for coming over. If you were over on Cerulean Gray's chat, welcome to the OverDrive 3G, third gear, as we call it. Before we get started, I would like to know if everybody in the chat can hear me okay. If you can hear me, type in a 1. Somebody type in a 1 if you can hear me. Thank you, thank you. Chief Disaster, there you go, thanks, Khalid. Let me give some shout outs to my strong peoples, Khalid Jane 79, thanks for coming over. Chief Disaster, Chaos. Hey, there you go, Christine. About time you got over here. We waiting for a few more people to come in before I get started. Um, this should be a pretty rough and tumble topic, you know. Um, as you guys understand that we don't make any excuses over here for being black men. Okay. You won't find or hear any excuses on this channel. Nor will you hear none on Cerulean's channel, and you definitely won't hear none on this channel. We don't make excuses. We tell the truth about what we are, who we are, and what the problem is. Okay, the link is in Discord. Waiting for my Discord peoples to show up here before we get started. It's like I said on this channel, we tell the truth about what we are, who we are. We tell you what the deal is, what's really going on. We don't make excuses. We don't hide behind women here on this channel. We are real men. We are men of honor. We are soldiers. We know what the problems are in the community. We know who caused them. We know who needs to face them. And time to time, you're going to have some brothers that's going to come over here and try to push back against that. They're welcome. They're more than welcome to come over here and do battle with us any day. Everything that I say, I am more than willing to back up, stand by. Still waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. They don't show up here in a few more minutes. I'm just going to get started. Because I have to keep watching this window here. All right, well, hold on 1 second. Let me well, a lot of people live tonight. Okay, so let's just get started. I guess they'll come up when they come up and they can join in. I don't want to keep everybody waiting. Okay, let's get on the topic tonight, okay? The topic is from abandoned black boys to adult ratchet effeminate black males, the price of failed fatherhood in the black community. Now, what I mean by that is that we talked about abandonment when men abandon their children, okay? We talked about the effect that it has, especially on boys. When the father is not around, okay, you are basically abandoning your child. It is the father's responsibility to make sure that he raised his boys in a manner that his boys grow up to be not only a productive member of society, but a man of honor, integrity, and respect, and discipline. This is the father's child. 1 second, please. I'm still getting some things together. Hold on. Okay, yeah, so like I was saying, right? This is um, hold on 1 more second here. Sorry, folks, I just got some things going on here in the background I'm trying to take care of, trying to do other things at once. Give me 1 second here. All right. So like I was saying, right? This this is the job of the father. Okay. Now you have a lot of men here on YouTube trying to blame the black woman for improperly raising the boys. Okay. The issue is this: when you leave the woman alone with the boys, you cannot expect her to raise the boys properly because, for one, the mother has never been a man. She's never been a little boy, so she doesn't know what little boys go through. She can only guess and imagine. Okay. So as boys grow up, there's certain things that they need from the father that they can't get from the woman because it's not a feminine thing that they need. Okay. And so that's where the separation comes in. And it's very important for the father to be there when certain things come up and certain things that need to develop within the child, right? It's very important for the father to be there. So if you're not there for your son, then you have abandoned your son. You have left your son to the wolves, and you have left your son to whatever teachings, whatever masculine teachings that the mother can come up with. And you can't blame her. If you left her in that situation, then you cannot blame her for your boys not turning out properly. Now, you have a lot of men on YouTube right now that seem to blame the black women for raising effeminate males. Well, this is what happens. You see, all of that starts with abandonment. Okay? So we're not going to play games here. We're going to go all the way back to how all of this started. We're not going to have some big old cloud of dust talking about some, yeah, well, black women are raising effeminate males. The black women are destroying the community. No. Let's go back to the origin of all of this. It starts with child abandonment. You see, when you have children with a woman and then you walk out on said woman and leave her with children, that is called child abandonment, especially when you don't come back and do anything to take care of those kids or see to their well-being or see to that they be properly raised or disciplined or anything. When you don't do anything, that is called abandonment. And this is how these things start. Now, right, exactly. This is how these things start. Hold on one second. I got people in there. Welcome to the OverDrive, my esteemed brother Cerulean Gray. Right, and this is that, right. This is how these things start. They start with abandonment, okay? So now when you abandon your son, okay, you cannot expect your son to get the proper teachings. And even if there is a male figure involved, he still won't get the training that he would give from you. You see, because your training is specific to your child. It's kind of like DNA. Okay, so if he comes up under the tutelage of another male, then he's going to get that male signature training, and that training may not be the type of training that you want in your son. So there's a lot of factors here. There's a lot of unforeseen factors that are in play here that happens in the development of the boy when the boy is abandoned. And so sitting here pointing fingers at someone who's actually trying to clean up or hold the bag or catch the bag that you left behind. Because basically that's what you're doing when you abandon your son. You're leaving him behind. You're leaving the woman to hold the bag. You're saying, okay, you know what? I can't handle this. I don't have any experience. I don't have any tolerance. I don't have any willpower to be a father. You handle it. It's all on you. Okay, well, most women are very, very protective, and they won't run out on their children, even if you abandon them, and they're going to do the very best that they can. So If some of the boys are coming through the cracks of feminine, what do you expect? The woman is not a male. She's not. She was never a little boy. She was never a man. So what, what do you expect? What do you think is going to happen? So you can't abandon your sons and then come back later on and say, well, you know what? It's the black woman's fault that they're running around here with their knees knocking together like little girls. And now that you've abandoned him, you haven't put any effort into raising him, you've left him to society, which our society is diseased. Make no mistake about it. We live in a diseased society. Okay. So you've left him to the craziness of the society, the craziness of social media. You left him probably with a mother that's either overworked or don't have a job, that's doing off government assistance, doing everything that she can to survive, and probably don't have the 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 um, um, the endurance to take care of him properly and other kids that she had properly, whatever, while trying to maintain a roof over their head and keep food in their mouth and clothes on their back. Man, let me tell you something. Taking care of children is a full-time job and it's automatic overtime and there is no time off. You have any idea the type of stress that causes, especially on one parent? Children can drive two parents crazy. So imagine what you're doing when you're leaving a woman with three kids, four kids, especially if the majority of them are males. So imagine what you're putting on her. She had to deal with three or four rambunctious children. Maybe two of them or three of them are males and one girl. So she's got to deal with three rough and tumble young boys. Yeah, any idea the amount of stress that puts on her? Three young boys? Are you kidding me? And then she have to keep a roof over their head, keep food in their mouth. And she has to find a way to go to work. And you know, boys are rough and tough. They get into trouble a lot. They get into trouble way more than girls get into trouble. Let's tell it the way it is. They get into trouble way more. So now you're putting more stress on her. But she's doing all of this by herself. And you expect her to do a yeoman's job in raising your boys that you left behind, that you abandoned. And now you got a problem because now they're 19, they're 20 years old, and they're running around here with sugar in the tank. You know, tight, super tight suits with zippers all over them, pink shoes, yellow socks, peacock hairdos, earrings, piercings all over the place, looking like some kind of biological monstrosity of humanity. And the first thing that comes out of your mouth is, oh, it's the black woman's fault. But what about you? Where were you when the child was born? Where was your input? Where was your discipline? Where was your, oh no, my son is not going to be like this. I'm going to raise my son and give my son the teachings, give him the discipline, teach him what it is to be a male in today's society. Where was that? Oh, so you didn't do any of that. Okay, so since you didn't do any of that, does the woman get to say to you that you are an absentee father, or you're a deadbeat, or you abandon your children? She gets to call you a no good MFer because of what you left her with? I don't think you guys get it, man. It's tough raising children. Children will wear you out, especially boys. And you want the black woman to do all of this by herself? You leave her, abandon her with the kids that you helped make. You leave her with no resources. In some cases, some of you don't even leave her with a place to stay. And you complain about child support? Think about what she has to go through. She has to feed those boys. She has to clothe those boys. She got to keep those boys from being murdered in the street with no father around. She has to be the disciplinarian. You know, boys at a certain age start to laugh at their mother when she tries to admit a discipline, because boys are strong. After a while, her discipline becomes a joke to them. This is the position that you put her in when you abandon your children. This is the price of failed fatherhood in the Black community. And it's not just effeminate boys, right? You're talking about the whole nine. You're talking about monsters, okay? Killing machines, kids who don't develop any social skills because the parent is just overwhelmed. They become awkward in the community, and then they turn into killers. They turn into drug addicts. They join gangs because they don't have no sense of family, because the mother is just stressed out. Sometimes the mother is so overwhelming for her, she becomes a crackhead. You created this whole scenario with abandonment. See, if you're there, you become a stabilizing factor. See, if you're there, then you draw a line in the sand, and you say to all of these negative things, these negative influences that may happen, okay, you can't cross this line. The mother being overwhelmed and no, that's not going to happen here. You turning into a drug addict, that's not going to happen here. You're becoming effeminate, that's not going to happen here. Okay, I'm going to lay down discipline. I'm going to lead this household. I'm going to teach you how to be an upstanding male, a leader, one with honor, integrity, and discipline, and self-respect. These are the things that happens. These are the good things that can happen if you stay there and you raise your child. I don't even listen. Even if you went across the street or live somewhere across town, be involved in raising your sons. It's very important that you're involved in raising your sons. It's more damaging when the boys aren't raised properly. It's way more damaging. You have any idea what misguided young boys grow up to be? They grow up to be hella destructive. You see, they don't stay little boys, they become stronger. And if their minds aren't developing in the right direction, they can become extremely dangerous and very destructive, even to the point where the mother can become afraid of them being in the household. Some will even start to beat on their own mothers because they can easily overpower the mother. This is your fault. See, it's not her fault, you see. This happens, this starts with abandonment. All of these scenarios that I just laid out to you start with abandonment, with you abandoning your child. And these scenarios play themselves out. I've seen them over and over again in many communities that I've been in. I've seen them over and over again. Young men going to jail, young men going to their graves, young men beating up their mothers. Hey, young man, why are you doing that? I don't know, man. I seen my father do it. My father don't like my mother, or I don't know who my daddy is. I ain't never seen him. I don't even know what my father looked like. You know, I heard a guy tell his son one time, he said, you ain't gonna be shit because I ain't shit. Imagine what goes through the boy's mind when he hears his father say it. It's supposed to be his father. Father telling him he ain't gonna be shit because the father ain't shit. That is a hell of a thing to tell a young boy. Now, don't get me wrong, some women are able to overcome these glaring holes. But even the mothers who are successful, they have help. A lot of them are bailed out because their sons have talent. And a lot of cases, their sons have superior athletic talent. And this can really help bail the mother out because all she got to do is take a football practice or basketball practice or baseball practice or whatever, and he'll get a lot of the male tutelage and discipline there. Especially if he's good enough to go all the way to the pros. This is like a get out of jail free card for a lot of mothers. This is a blessing for a lot of the mothers. But not all of the mothers get this. And the mothers who aren't privy to this, to where their sons aren't as talented, right? They have to find another way to raise them. Some choose to go hard academics. Sometimes the boy, will get that teaching. Sometimes he'll rebel against it. But like I said, when there is no father, then you have put the mother in a serious bind. You have tied her hands behind her back. You have put her in a terrible situation that she must somehow try to find a way to keep stabilized so she doesn't lose her mind, so that she doesn't lose her son or her sons, so that her sons don't become molesters and may molest her daughter one day, their only sister, or go out and rape other women. Okay? There's a lot that the mother has to deal with when raising boys. A lot. If a young boy's mind is underdeveloped and it starts to develop in all kinds of crazy ways, she can very well have a monster growing in her house. Think about that for a second. Monster, right? Let's take a look at that word for a second. Monster. Let's tell you how serious this is. They say monster I'm sorry, I was checking something out here. I got distracted for a second. Okay, yeah, so talking about someone who could very well be raising some kind of sociopath, some kind of monster, some kind of psycho. Because boys can mentally drift that quick. They can mentally drift all the way to the left and out into oblivion that quick. It can happen within the day. And the mother never know it. She can come home from work one day, her son could have completely flipped because of the testosterone that's developing inside. Sometimes the woman has to raise the boy in an effeminate way, depending on how much testosterone. I mean, if the testosterone is so much to the where the boy becomes overbearing and some kind of brute, the mother is going to be in fear of her, in fear of him. Maybe some of them, by raising them in a feminine way, this is their way of being safe. You're talking about a little baby boy, right? That can grow into a 6'4", 6'5", 7 foot, 300 pound colossus. And this is what you're potentially leaving behind when you abandon your boys and you don't have any direct psychological connection to your boys. It's not the Black women in the community that are raising your boys wrong. It's you not raising your boys at all. That's the real issue. You aren't raising your boys at all. So you don't have that, you're not making sure that you have that psychological connection to your boy so he can receive the teachings that he needs to become a productive, honorable, and respectable young man. So when these boys are out here running amok or whatever, going crazy, doing all kinds of crazy, I blame the father. And if you want to talk about the women dating bad men or bums or stuff like that, I blame the men. I blame that on us too. You see, we're not supposed to be raising bums. See, as fathers, as honorable fathers, you're supposed to be raising good young men, men that are worthy of marriage, men who are capable of providing for a family and treating his family right. This is what you're supposed to be raising. You're not supposed to be raising bums. Why are you raising bums? If you're telling me that the Black woman is dating bums, I'm asking you, why are you raising bums? How about you raise some better men so she don't be selecting bums? If there are bums in the community, well, do you need to get on your game, bro? What you waiting for? You need to start raising some upstanding young men. What are you saying that, well, the Black woman is dating bum? What you gonna do about it? You need to get busy then. You need to start raising some young, upstanding, honorable males so that she may have a better choice of men. I mean, you think about it as a father, as a male, right? Wouldn't you want your daughter to be with a decent young man? I mean, growing up, the fathers wanted their daughters to be with decent young men, family men, honorable men. So the fathers made sure they went out their way to teach that to us, to teach that to their boys. You see, each father was in their household teaching their boys basically the same thing. And so when you have a community that's on code like that, if you have a community of 200 people, and you got 200 fathers or 195 fathers all on code, raising their boys to be upstanding young men, then guess what? You have virtually no bums in the community for the women to choose from. And so you look at the fathers today, right? What do the fathers today want for their young boys? Do they want their young boys to be good men? Absolutely, Christine. A soldier in every home, an honorable young boy in every home. If we had this mentality today, we wouldn't have these conversations about, oh, well, black women are choosing bums. Well, there won't be any bums around them to choose from. What kills me is they blame the black women for not only things that they created themselves, but things that they can fix themselves. You can't blame the black woman for. As a matter of fact, if the black woman is dating a bum, if she's dating a bum in the community, I have to respect her for that. You say, okay, well, why am I? Because I mean, she's not going outside of her race. I mean, dude's a bum and everything, but at least he's black. He's not white. I mean, I'll have to give her kudos for remaining loyal to her race. I'll have to give her kudos for sacrificing and remaining loyal to her race.
But there is a deeper and more pressing question: is why is he a bum to begin with? And it is because of the dereliction of older males who did not teach him the ways of mancraft.
And welcome to the Maximum Overdrive Third Gear. My esteemed brother, the leader of the Great Regime, Mr. Cerulean Gray.
Greetings, esteemed Maximus.
Yeah, Cerulean. I was just saying that it starts with abandonment. Remember you talked about abandonment before. That's where it starts. If the man is abandoning the boy, okay, yeah, then the boy never received those teachings. Even if he gets teachings from another male, it still won't be the same teachings. And so when you abandon your son, you leave your son to the craziness of this society. And he's at the mercy of the limitations of the mother. The mother was never a little boy. So she can only take him so far when it comes to masculinity. If she can take him even an inch when it comes to masculinity.
Indeed. See, I think it'd probably be more effective than to sit there and say, okay, all of this is black women's fault. I think is a more effective strategy to organize around the boys, so that we have less bums coming out on the other end.
Exactly. I was just saying that fathers back in the day that I was growing up, they cared about who their daughters dated, right? So they made sure that their sons wasn't the kind of guy that they didn't want their daughter to date.
I mean, there's a great deal more that goes into it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you have an anti-mentorship, contingent of Negroes. We don't need no mentors. It's like, well, look how far black boys are behind. I think you absolutely do. You look at teachers, you look at say Boy Scout leaders, you look at sports program coaches. I mean, just about everywhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're nothing but alternative parents. By all intents and purposes, they are all types of mentorship. A teacher, right?
Mm-hmm.
A coach, even in the military.
Mm-hmm.
right? These are all alternative forms of mentorship.
Right. This is what I was saying when I said that the single black mother who gets left with these boys, sometimes she's blessed with a get out of jail free card with her boys having superior athletic talent. And then she's able to keep these boys occupied with male influence, especially if they end up going pro in a particular sport. So those are the mothers who actually get pretty much a get out of jail free card because they let because they have the coaches in their boys' lives, okay, who basically train them so they become professional athletes. But a lot of black women, they don't get blessed like this. They don't have that get out of jail free card, and they got to go it alone.
No, I mean they're left holding all of the failure.
Mm-hmm.
And so um, this is one of the conundrums of the derelict Negro male, though.
Mm-hmm.
Because you on one hand they'll say, "Oh, it's not my responsibility." It is,
Mm-hmm.
and then what they'll do is they'll use some kind of red herring, you know, like, are you saying women have no agency,
Mm.
right?
Right.
And I would ask, do you have any agency? Say, I have agency. Oh, really? The fact that you're complaining about the women is evidence that you do not have agency.
Well,
See, agency is the ability to prevent something, right? So if you're complaining about something, right? Agency says that it kind of implies that you have the ability to prevent negative effects in one's life.
mm-hmm.
That's the way they use it against black women, right?
Yeah.
And so therefore, if I am saying the black woman does not have agency, then I'm saying to the Negro who complains that he equally does not have any agency.
You know, you see, I hate to keep going back to this, but in my day, fatherhood was something to be proud of. It was something that men aspired to be, good fathers. The black men back then were proud to be fathers. I mean, I used to images of men walking up and down the street with their children on their shoulder, sometimes carrying two or three of them, one in one hand, one on the back, and the other in another hand. Men were proud to be seen in public walking down the street with their children. I look around today, I don't see that. I don't see that. I don't see that anywhere. I don't see, I mean, every now and then I may see a brother with his girl and she's pushing a stroller or something, or I may see a brother holding his son or daughter. That's just about it. But I don't see that proud fatherhood experience in these guys, man. I just see a bunch of dudes running around here pretty much into themselves, chasing after other dudes. I mean, literally, you got guys chasing guys. When did that happen? I've never seen nothing like that before. You see, the mentality of these young boys is completely screwed up. I mean, completely screwed up. You're talking about somebody's head being put on backwards. It's like they're operating in their reverse. It's like they've been told to walk backwards instead of forward. They seem to care more about other men than they care about women, and don't have a damn ounce of compassion for children. This is another thing that's missing from this generation. It's like I said before, this generation of males don't have any character. They're not proud of anything. They're not broad chested. I mean, they're not, broad shouldered or broad chested. They're not walking around here proud of something with their chest sticking out like men. They don't beat on their chest like King Kong. You know, they switch, walk around here and switch their hips back and forth. Like, I was sitting in Walmart waiting for, I was waiting to get some medication. Then I went out to my car, right? And I'll never forget, it was getting dark. And I saw two people coming my way pushing the car. I thought they were women with the way they were walking. They got up close and close. I looked in the mirror. These were two dudes walking like, dude, they walk just like females. I thought I saw a monster. I couldn't believe it, man. From a distance, they walked, their behavior was all feminine. You couldn't tell the difference until they got up close to where you can actually see their faces. And this is all over the place, man. And this is the result of abandoning your little boys.
Yeah, abandoning responsibility.
Yeah.
In totality.
Yeah. This is the effect. This is the price of failed fatherhood. This is the price you pay.
You know, it's interesting. Earlier I was playing the video of Dr. John Calhoun's Mouse Utopia experiment, right?
Yes, I saw that.
And he was talking about a segment of the male mice, completely withdrawn from the rest of the pack. And these were the first ones to die, either through self-termination or, what have you. They were the first to die.
They were the first to die? You said they were the first to die?
Yeah, they were the first to die in the Mouse Utopia, the ones that withdrew. And the others, they basically just sat around, they became lethargic until they died of old age. Become completely disinterested.
That's weird. You're saying that none of the other mice engaged in any kind of activity. They didn't engage in any kind of activity. They didn't get taught by the other. Oh yeah, that was the one where he made it nearly impossible for them to be raised properly. I think he put like what 2,000 of them in a small space or something like that.
Yeah.
And ended up killing each other or something over the resources.
Yeah, 2,000, and by the time the experiment was done, only a handful lived.
Of course. Yeah, you can do that with humans. I mean, that's common sense. It's not hardly scientific. Like, to me, it seems like he just wanted to see some mice go crazy. I mean, you can do that with it. You can do that with any animal Any human being. You take 500 human beings, right, and give them some rations of food, right? It's only going to last 30 days, and put all 500 of them in two houses of 3 bedrooms. That's it. You got 500 people living in two houses with just 3 bedrooms, and they can't go anywhere. You got them locked up for the rest of society, and only give them food that's going to last for 30 days. Right? Come back in 30 days, you're going to see just about every last one of them dead.
That is a fact.
You know, that's common to me. That's not a scientific. To me, that's some diabolical. Um, that's some person feeding their own evil instinct to watch death take place. There's nothing scientific about that. That's common sense. That's a natural. That's common sense. You can do that with anyone or any animal. Heck, you can do that with a, check this out, you can do that with a family. They can all know each other. They can all be kinfolk and then still kill each other.
Yes.
So, yeah, because all kinds of things that take place, panic, delusion, evil, the unthinkable, anxiety, starvation, horror, fear. All of these things will start to manifest. And then people will start to hallucinate. They will start to allow their mind to slip out of reality. They will start to disassociate themselves from each other, breaking the family bond, only caring about their own particular survival. Now, I think it's inhumane to do those kind of experiments, but I think that you can find your answer without having to be so extreme with 2,000 mice in one closed environment. You don't even have to go that far. You can put a couple of, if you have an area, let's say the area only holds 10 mice, right? You can put 2 more mice in there. 2 extra mice are going to cause problems because you only have a space for 10 of them. You put 2 more in there, the other two, you have 12 mice, right? For a place that only fit for 10, the 2 are going to cause big problems. I'm serious. You ain't got to go 2,000. You can put 2 extra ones in there. They're going to cause problems. Because for one, there's not enough. Animals also have a built-in instinct for resources, especially when all they do is eat to survive, right? So they have a pretty good understanding about what resources are what. Okay, if they go somewhere and they see a resource and it's there, okay, they don't do like we do. They don't say, okay, this is only going to last for 30 days or whatever, They're going to sit over there and they're going to guard it. They're going to covet it because it's a resource of food. Okay. Especially if the mice have children or whatever running around. Oh yeah, if you're going to do mice that way, none of them can be females, or you're really going to have a problem. They all have to be males because the female is going to really, really complicate things, especially if they start getting pregnant. So that experiment that can go up in all kinds of directions. That's pretty much what Black men are doing when they abandon their sons. They're pretty much treating them like experiments, right? They're allowing them to grow up with no guidance or no teachings or no direction. And when they are a finished product of a crazy society or a society that's riddled with psychological disease, when they are a product of that or finished product of that, then we want to complain that it's the Black woman's fault. We want to say, oh, it's the Black woman that's raised them to be effeminate. It's the black woman that's raising them to destroy the community. I just talked about several things that can frighten a young mother or a single mother about a male, a boy growing into an adult male. He can become a hulking figure now. He can become 6'7", 80 pounds, muscle. Okay? Imagine that in her home, that have his mind is unstable. His emotions are all screwed up. He don't have the proper teachers. He have no respect for women. So imagine him in the home with a single mom. Imagine what her fear would be, right? So some of this probably raising these boys effeminately. Maybe some of this is by design because the mother may fear what the boy may grow into when he's an adult. Truly?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that's quite possible.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's the right thing to do. I'm just saying, this, I mean, boys can be, dude, come on, man. We've been boys.
Yes.
We know how tough it is on a woman. Boys will drive their mother insane. So imagine that mother dealing with 2 and 3 boys with no father.
You know, it's funny. There was a comedian, white dude. It was recently under attack by the whole Me Too movement. A dude named Louis C.K.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a really funny joke about the difference between boys and girls.
Right.
Oh, in fact, let me play it. Let me see if I can find out. Play it here.
All right. Yeah, Christine Williams, you're right. Only a few mothers get that free get out of jail free card. And their sons are super athletic and they end up going pro.
All right, here. I think this may be it.
Boys are hard to raise, man. All my sisters have boys, and I just feel for them because it's really hard, and they really do. Here's the thing, though: girls are just as hard to raise, but on a whole other level. They're different. Here's the difference to me between boys and girls: boys fuck things up. Girls are fucked up. That's the difference. Boys just do damage to your house that you can measure in dollars like a hurricane. Girls like leave scars in your psyche that you find later, like a genocide or an atrocity. Like my sister-in-law came over once with her little boy. He's like 4 years old, and she comes over and she's been with him all day, so she's in bad shape. She's got a drink, and she's like, I can't do that. I can't do it anymore. And I put like an army blanket around her, trying to calm her down. And then her little boy walks up to her. He's got a handful of sand. I don't know where he got it. There's no sand in my home. He got a handful of it. Walks up to his mom and just throws it right in her drink. It's all she had. And he just ruined it. Really confident too, not like this. He was like, yeah, that's where that shit goes, right there. And I was blown away by this because I had girls, they would never dream of doing that. It wouldn't even enter their heads that a person could do that. But they're fucked up. Like my 5-year-old, the other day, one of her toys broke. And she demanded that I break her sister's toy to make it fair. And I did. That's how much shit she gave me. I broke the little toy and I felt awful. I was like crying. And I look at her, she's got this creepy smile on her face. That's the difference between boys and girls. And it becomes the difference between men and women, really. Because a man will like steal your car or burn your house down or beat the shit out of you. But a woman will ruin your fucking life. Do you see the difference? Like a man will cut your arm off and throw it in a river. But he'll leave you as a human being intact. He won't fuck with who you are. Women are nonviolent, but they will shit inside of your heart.
Yeah. He broke the toy to make it fair.
Oh wow, that was that's pretty good. I don't know how far you go back, Spoonie, but we used to be told that girls were made of sugar and spice and everything nice.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot what boys are made out of.
Boys are made out of frogs, snails, and puppy dog tails.
Yeah, frogs, snails, and puppy dog tail. Oh man, I wonder what they made out of now.
Well, now it just made out of fecal matter.
Made out of mascara, lipstick. I just can't get over the weakness, the overall weakness. Like even today, or Nyla says channel. Shout out to Nyla. You had guys on there, blaming women and making excuses. It seems like there's a trend now. It's like it's okay to point the finger at Black women so nobody takes a look at how cowardly we are.
That's all it is.
Mm-hmm. And they don't seem to have any problem with being a coward. It seems to be some kind of cool calling today. That's supposed to be some new type of swag, being a coward. I mean, these cats, man, they dressing I mean, these cowards, man, they done turned it up. I mean, it's some kind of fad now to be a coward.
Yes.
Yeah, they support each other too. The hell, man, you know what? If you scared, don't worry about it. We gotta help each other through the pain, You got guys like Underrated Doctors talking about we gotta hold each other, we gotta hug each other, and feel each other's pain. I don't understand that kind of language, so. And so, it's cool to be a nobody.
Wait, he said you got to do what?
He said, we got to talk to one another. We got to hug each other. We got to feel each other's pain. That's what Underrated Darkness said.
Sorry, can you repeat that again? You got to do what?
He said that we have to talk to each other. We have to hug each other. We have to feel each other's pain.
Oh, I could have swore he did said something about never mind. I could have swore it said something gay.
He did say something as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, no.
Hell, he talking about men feel each other's pain and hug each other. See this whole hugging thing. You see, I must be a dinosaur, bro. I come from some kind of brutal era, okay, to where see my father didn't teach me on showing another man any kind of affection. See, I wasn't taught that. See, I was taught exactly the opposite, that you didn't show men affection, you showed women affection. You see, you told women you loved them, you showed women your affection. The men just got your acknowledgement and your respect. They didn't get hugs and shit like, I love you, man. So we didn't do that. If you come up to the men from my generation, the real men, you go and shake their hand, they'll shake your hand. But if you try to hug them, they'll push you off, look at you like you crazy, like what you doing. They don't do that even to the day. That's this generation out here.
Yeah, no. It's funny because when I hear that kind of talk, like what I hear is this.
Because I know somewhere deep down in my heart, I still love you.
No.
Where'd you get that from, man?
Stuff like this.
Because I know somewhere deep down in my heart, I still love you.
That's it. Hey, is that the MGTOW anthem?
It must be.
Yeah, so we have to draw the line, like, you know, okay, I see what. Yeah, so guys like Underrated Darkness, these guys they get on these panels with this effeminate crap, and they go and they start attacking black women, you know, and it's caught on. You see, like some of these dudes, man, like the conversation I heard today on Nihilist, right? You got these dudes, they got all of this smoke and all this conversation for women, right? But don't have no conversation about what we're going to do to get things turned around in our community, or what we're supposed to be doing in the community, or what they are doing in the community. They don't have no conversation about nothing like that. The conversation is always about what the woman is doing, what she isn't doing, what she won't let somebody do, or what she stop somebody from doing. That's the whole conversation. And then it goes back to slavery, and then it goes to, like today they talked about, they even brought the Bible into it today, the Hebrew Israelite stuff, and how the woman is supposed to be this way and the Most High want the woman to be that way. This is just, these dudes, man.
Yeah.
Down in my heart, I love you. I love you. I love
Yeah. No. Absolutely not.
Man, it's I think the black woman has a really bad, bad, bad Feel sorry for her, man. She has a really bad crop of men to deal with. I mean, this generation of men are just
I'm fucked up with.
huh?
This week.
Yeah, man. It's even worse than weak, man. And then the thing about it is, you got guys like, you know, see, I don't want to say it. I don't want to say BGS. I don't want to get anything started with him, but man, this whole save yourself black man thing. I I just feel bad for black women today, man. They got a really bad crop of men out here. These guys are scared of their own shadow, man. They don't have any discipline. They weak, effeminate. They want a girl fight all the time. They're not doing anything. They're not building any infrastructure or anything. They wonder why the black women are running up top of their heads right now. I mean, it's going upside their heads pretty much. They have no respect.
Yes. And they should. And they should. Absolutely should.
Christine Williams said that she think most just don't want to know because then they see who really is at fault. Well, they already know who's at fault, Christine. It's not rocket science as to who's at fault. The only ones that don't think that they're at fault are the ones who are at fault. Those of us who know better, we know where the fault lies. Like I said, you won't hear me or Cerulean pass the buck. We won't pass. We're going to tell you where the fault is. We're going to tell you where the responsibility lies. We know what the real deal is. These guys with all these false narratives about black women, it's all BS. The men are the ones who are at fault for all of this because the women are reactionary. They're going to react to what's going on in their environment. Okay, if you have ratchet men or screwed up men in the environment, well, then the women are going to start acting that way too. They're going to react to that. If you have upstanding, honorable men, respectable men in your community, well, then the women are going to react to that too.
Yes.
Right. So if you are having an issue with what's going on in your environment, then you need to be in control of what is put out in your environment. If you're wondering why the women are acting a certain way, they are reacting to what's in the environment because they're nesting in that environment. So if they're nesting in that environment, then they have to be able to survive in that environment. And the people who are supposed to be controlling the environment, the men, okay, the leaders of the environment, need to be the ones who are putting out the nourishment in the environment that people need to grow positively. If you aren't doing that, then they are being poisoned by the corruption that you are allowing to grow in your community, in your environment. And the women are going to react to they're going to react to the poison, they're going to react to the corruption. And when you have poison and corruption in your environment, then guess what? You get hoochie mamas. You get nigga made bitches. Just like you say, bitch made niggas, well, you got nigga made bitches. which is the female version of a bitch nigga. You're gonna get the ratchetness. You're gonna get the twerking. You're gonna get the derelict mothers. You're gonna get this. You're gonna get all of this stuff because you allowed your environment to become corrupted on your watch. And when corruption seeps into your environment, it plants all kinds of seeds of chaos, destruction, and poison. So you're gonna get a variety of bad things. It won't just be one bad thing. Oh man, you're gonna get a smorgasbord of bad things. Is that right, Mr. Gray?
Indeed, because abandonment is the original sin.
Mm-hmm. Welcome to the show, Mr. Chaos Rain. Right. So, right. So when you have all these things in it, hey, what's going on, Chaos?
Yeah, man. You hiding the link tonight, Max. You don't want these so-called people that want to come up and challenge the OverDrive. Like they
okay, no problem. I'll put the link in right now.
Okay. No, you don't need to now, but that's always got to keep a reminder. We have those dudes that want to challenge your talking points. You want to bring them in. Hospitality. Come to the OverDrive.
They're more than welcome. We had one clown come on. Now listen, I don't have a problem with people wanting to challenge what we're saying, but don't come up to being a clown though. Okay. Don't come up here being a clown. Don't come up here trying to just start mess to be started. If you got something to say that's legitimate, you want to show, bring it.
Now, Max, I know when we talked a few days ago about what I told you with Jay Sean and the other cats on the other stream, how they up here saying that these women, there's derelict women out here in the communities. Do you agree or disagree? Can you explain to the people about this so-called made-up characteristic of derelict women? This is something
there's derelict women. Well, they're derelict women because they are copies. They are female copies of derelict men. You see, women are reactionary. They're going to react to the behavior that they see in their environment. If you have a bunch of derelict, ratchet, good for nothing bums running around here, well, then they're going to react to that. This is what happens when you allow corrupt. You see, when you have bums and men in the community that don't care, who do bad in the community, that is a form of corruption. See, corruption don't have to be an intangible thought. It can actually be a physical human being. Yeah, you can have human beings running around corrupting your environment,
like a virus.
Yeah. So when you have these men in the community that are womanizers, they're beating on women, they don't care about how many babies they make, they don't care about taking care of their kids, doing all kinds of crazy things, then the woman is going to react to what's going on in the environment. Then yes, it's going to create hoochie mamas, twerkers, derelict females, you name it, it's going to create it.
Okay. So another question, Max, so I'm up here. There's certain things going on with a lot of these dudes, how they want to, they don't want to deal with an actual woman per se, but now I hear that if they're like 20 or more years older than a female, they like to pursue, especially girls that are under the age of 20. I don't know if you caught some of this. Some of these dudes were making an excuse because the law said, well, they're legal now, so I guess I can pursue. It shows when they're sitting there as old as they are, will even entertain a girl that could be as old as their own daughter if they had kids is very questionable. Very questionable.
Well, you can look at it two ways, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can say that they're borderline child molesters, or you can just say that they are worthless, dirty old men.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they become dirty-minded to the point where, you know, their only existence in the community is to chase young women.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell you how much that type of mindset hurts us as people, and how it stymies our progress, how it keeps us dead in the water, rudderless in the water.
Mm-hmm.
Because we got too many dudes running around here chasing skirts.
Yeah. Pedophiles too.
Yeah, pedophiles.
And then they don't like the word. And you know, it's fun. I find a lot of black men find offense when a grown man tell you're a pedophile when you look and seek out a girl that's very young and you're like twice her age. You know, like with me, there has to be at least some standard code men should at least follow. You know, and I find that most of these men that's old as they get, they don't even follow that. Then how the hell are you going to build with a bunch of pedophile Negroes? You know, I don't want my daughter around them. I know if you had daughters or anybody had daughters, we don't want them around these Negroes. You got to put a bullet through their head.
You said that they were on a show talking about this?
Well, like this? I will say this because I'm not going to call YouTubers names. Y'all guys watch enough of these so-called people that proclaim that they're in their 50s and they'll seek out women that are like 23, hell, even 22.
Well, those girls, okay, I see what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Those aren't like, okay, if they're 20 some years old, they're young, but they are considered adults.
Yeah, they're adults. Yeah, by the law, yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, they're young girls. They're young, you know, we call them girls because we're older, you know, but they are adults. That's why I say they got, you know, they're dirty old men.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I stopped short of calling them child, but they're just dirty old men. You know, they old dudes chasing after these young girls. You know, they're the guy who's 97 years old, that's super rich, paying for Viagra, you know, marrying some centerfold model who's 23, he's 92. You know, some old dirty old men.
Yeah, man.
Now, if you're talking 16, 17, 18, now that's a different animal.
But Max, like I said before, these dudes will even, you know, the other dude that on the old man will say he has dated an 18-year-old and he's like twice his age, and he would attain an 18-year-old because they're legal. You get me? Mm-hmm. And mind you, Taz did state it, and I should look it up, but out of 50 states, not even half the age consent is 18 years of age.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't that something? So that means if this is a legal age of 16, you will entertain a 16-year-old because that's the legal age for most of the dudes for their rhetoric, from what they're expounding.
Yeah, you know, it's a moral thing. That's a moral thing. Would you let your 16-year-old daughter date a 40-year-old man, even though it was legal? Cerulean.
Indeed. Can you hear me?
Would you let your daughter or your niece or whatever date a 40-some-year-old man? If she's 16, even though it's legal? I wouldn't give a damn if it was legal or not.
I remember Ali Muhammad one time said that when he came across the information that the so-called Elijah Muhammad was impregnating 16-year-old girls.
See, These laws can get people killed, man. See, you got to be careful with these laws.
Yeah,
You
I agree.
know, everybody ain't feeling that, man. Like, you know, this is our problem. Period. You know, I've talked to many races, different races of men, right? You know, the conversation never evolves around women.
I wouldn't imagine. I wouldn't imagine.
I have to interject women. They're always talking about building something, business, owning a business, saving money, building capital.
And these are different race of men. Right?
Yeah, that's all they
European
talk
men, like,
about. I don't ever hear nothing about, yeah, man, I got to go get the woman, and the woman is this. You know, I talked to a bunch of, I know some Hindus, right? I talk to them. All they talk about is money and owning businesses.
while the Negroes up here talking about how much more coochie they're gonna get. They rather deal with coochie than principle.
Yeah, on Christine Williams. Many young women may be legal, but their mindset cannot match his experience. Exactly.
And another thing I find interesting with a particular rhetoric from one man, YouTuber, how they said that the young women, they're easy to listen. They won't question a man. It's like you tell them something, they'll do it. Not one questioning.
What do you mean? Wait a minute. Say it again.
Like one particular YouTuber said that mess around with younger women that's not in their 30s or so, that they're easier to deal with because they won't question your man, your authority.
Well, again, this is someone who's derelict in their masculinity and weak, you know.
And I think it's the weird saying, okay, the issue with a lot of these dudes said, you're trying to deal with leadership and you don't want a woman that has her head on straight to question certain things you're doing to balance that out. That make no sense.
Well, yeah, it makes perfect sense if you don't want.
So it seemed like you want what's the word, Max? You want, what's it called? I forgot what they call that. It's not a yes person. It'll come back to me. They want that type of person. You get me?
So about a slave?
I don't know if that's what they want to call it. Maybe. I mean, that's what they call it. It's something like that.
Yeah, I agree. College Jane 79. They prey on young women, you know, so they can take advantage of their naivete. Exactly.
And the sad thing about, because these older men, either if they're married or not.
Well, then I guess you can call them predators. Hey, Seruni, wouldn't that be a predator?
Indeed.
Yeah, you can call these guys predators. So wait a minute. They're on YouTube exposing themselves as predators.
Basically, yeah. And here's the thing. The same YouTuber said that it's better if anybody asks if he has a girlfriend, that they don't want anybody to ask that, especially at the age of the girlfriend, because he's going to be seen as a predator.
What?
Yeah.
Wait a minute, say it again.
He said usually if it's an older man messing around with a younger girl and somebody asks, he just don't want, he don't want anybody to give the answer.
Someone on YouTube said this?
Yeah, I'm not gonna say the YouTuber said. I ain't gonna do that. No, I ain't gonna do that.
So you mess with younger girls, but don't want to get the answer because
no, like it's like if you know he's dating somebody younger, real young, and he's at a certain age, and people ask about the age of that person, if they ask that, you know, it's better they don't answer. You know, sometimes they say they want nobody to know their business if they date somebody younger. They try to keep it.
Well, here's my thing on it, okay? If you're 50-some years old and the girl is 25, yeah, we're gonna look at you all messed up. Yeah, you're a little punk, you're a little whatever. But at least she is a young woman. Okay. But when you talk about 20, 19, 20, 16, 17, man, that's another animal, bro.
Well, Max, like you said, if the mid-20s, maybe, but these dudes not thinking like that. They just don't want,
maybe.
they don't want to
maybe.
mention. They don't want to mention they're messing with somebody that is old enough to be their daughter. They don't want to talk about it.
Exactly. 20s, yeah, mid-20s, that's a maybe. You're right. That's even, to me, that's even way too young. It's gotta be at least 35.
Because see, you know, it goes back, like you said, there was morality. But I think when it comes to black people, especially black men, they're picking and choosing what type of morality they want to deal with. When it comes to sex and women, there's no morality in that. Everything else, when they talk about what they have to do, especially against competing groups of men, what they have to do, that's when the morality comes into play. You ever notice that?
Mm-hmm.
So really, there's a thin line. There's like a double standard when they want to deal with what we call morality. I don't deal with that shit.
Right.
Either you're moral or not. Don't sit and say you go do a double standard in regards to morality. Say I'll entertain a girl that's twice my age, no doubt. But if I could deal with competing group men and deal with what I should be doing and putting down some things, oh no, we gotta be moral.
Wait a minute, what do you mean morality? What are you talking about? Like
you know, how can I say this? You know how that these non-black people deal with aggression towards black people?
Yes.
And they said, well, how they could be so immoral, right? They have to be moral to you. They deal with power.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to morality, that's not in their equation when they deal with your ass. But when it's come to you as black men, when you gotta deal with the same thing, it's like now you're dealing with the realm of morality. You won't deal with the enemy, like, you know, the eye for eye type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's when the morality comes to play with a lot of brothers. But in regards to mess with younger females or black sisters, if they're like in their mid-20s or younger than that, then they don't deal with that morality stuff. They say, well, you know, if the state said it is legal, I can enter. I ain't gonna be put in jail for that. You get me? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
So they know that there's two, they don't want to be moral and when not. You get me?
Yeah.
When it comes to coochie, all bets are off, Max. Keep that in mind. When it comes to vagina, all bets are off.
It's the rules in the law to hide their being the predator, right?
Yes.
It's pretty much.
Yeah. Oh, they're very moral when it comes to say justification for shitting on black people, right?
Mm-hmm.
They try to say it's some kind of moral failure.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason why the community is fucked up, is moral failure. But they'll never take responsibility for it because the moral failure is on the black men, if there is one.
Well, they don't even want to.
Oh, wait. This is I said. Whenever it comes to that pussy, these motherfuckers ain't trying to hear no shit about no morality.
You're right. See, you follow me, Cerulean? When it comes to coochie, yeah, no morality. It's
no.
Because I was going back for the playback for Taz's stream about this thing with these dudes in regards to the underage females.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going back for the playback. And I'm sitting there shaking my head that there are men that are older than you, me, that's to the advocate and make an excuse, you know, why they want to pursue very much younger women, you know, and possibly, you know, impregnate. And I heard the excuse by a lot of men said, well, the difference between we old men, we're not going to impregnate these women so we can make more baby moms. Well, technically, you're still fucking them up mentally. You know what I'm saying? So because you're not pregnant, so they say, you're still doing some damage. That's still what they call derelict/dusty behavior.
Yes.
Dusty behavior. No different from the so-called Negroes they be talking about, these Pookie Ray nonsense. You're no different from that. And it shows that you have that everything that white people talk about black people, especially black men, is validation. These dudes don't know what they're doing when they sit there advocate that type of behavior. I mean, really? I mean, do y'all dudes hear yourself? Is that safe for white women that write articles of white men talking about say that they kill you because you're gonna rape their women? These dudes are dumb as fuck, man.
Yes.
Look at that precious Becky they always love. And say, well, you know, I want this. This should be. I say, well, you know, that's what she expected from your no good ass. Hell, you know, so the European man said you're gonna mess with my daughter that's 18 or something. Hell no. So you better not bring that nigga in my house. You know what to do with your ass. Hold on a second. I'm gonna go in the chat and see what's going on. All right. Comfortable. One question, Serena, did you beat all Mass Effect games? Like from the first one that came out for, was it Xbox 360? Back in the early 2000s, mid 2000s?
No.
Okay.
No.
I was watching you play this one. When this one was released?
That's actually Crew.
Okay. Looks interesting.
Okay.
Are you back?
out there. Yeah.
All right, good. Oh shit, I forgot about the charger. Let me see if I got the charger.
So let's not. 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
Now you were saying Chaos?
Like I was saying, because of their logic and their behavior displayed on YouTube, is advocating and it's showing the same rhetoric that these Europeans, especially European, when they keep putting propaganda of black men, how they will rape daughters and stuff, like they're brutes.
Who?
No, like it's the same propaganda push how black men just brutes that all they want sex and they'll get anyway. So if these men talking about said they'll mess with any young woman that's legal per se, that's pushing that same narrative how they portray black men.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So these dudes shoot themselves in the foot when they sitting there saying, as long, you know, if it's illegal is okay and all that. What?
Actually, you know what they're doing?
Mm-hmm.
It's deeper than that. Basically, what they're doing is creating an image of black men, right? Overall, that black men are dangerous, no matter what age.
Yes, correct. That's what I'm trying to say. Bingo. That's it. Yep.
Right.
That's it. You better not leave your daughters around this black male. He's gonna probably, you know, do something sexual.
Right. You know something? I was watching a movie called The Hurricane, right?
Mm-hmm.
About a boxer named Reuben Hurricane Carter.
Yeah, I remember that movie.
There was a particular scene in there that I really took notice to, right?
Mm-hmm.
When he was young, and that white man was trying to molest him,
Yeah.
you know, and he hit the white man with a rock or whatever, or stabbed him or whatever.
Yeah.
And they had him in the police precinct. And that sergeant, Telepesca, right?
Mm-hmm.
One guy said he's just a kid, right? And the Telepesca said, I don't care how old he is, he's a nigga with a knife. They have that same mentality today about us.
Yeah.
They don't care how old we are.
Yeah.
They see our children as adults and dangerous.
Yep.
No matter what their age is. And when these guys exhibit that kind of behavior, they feed into that negative image about black males.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
Think about that for a second.
Yeah.
I don't care how old he is. He's a nigga with a knife.
Mm-hmm.
So the term nigger negates all kinds of things. Humanity.
Yep.
By calling us a nigger, they've taken away the humanity of our children. They've taken away the fact that they are young and prone to mistakes. They've taken away their naivety, their preciousness, their innocence. Okay?
Yep.
Just by saying that. They've wiped all that out about your children. So now your children are nothing more to them than animals, wild animals to be shot down in the street.
And you know what they do with animals? They kill them like a dog. Yep.
And when you grow up to be an adult, guess what? You just become sport. They fancy themselves as hunters, taking down big game. That's why they shoot to kill.
Yep.
It's like having a pelt. Okay? It's like putting a moose head on your wall, or a bearskin rug on your floor. Like Betty Shelby. When she killed Terrence, I believe it was Terrence Crutcher she killed. When you look at that whole video, there was no reason for her to shoot that man. She shot that man because she wanted a pelt. And so now she can sit amongst a group of white people and she can talk about how it feels to kill a nigger, how it feels to kill a black man or somebody black. Just like Sergeant Dorsey says, she's teaching how to get away with murder.
Basically, yep.
And there's one thing that nobody noticed, right, about her. When they released her out of that court, right?
Yeah.
If this was an innocent woman, she would have walked with some dignity. But you know what she did as soon as she got out of that court? She ran like her life depended on it. She ran. And she actually ran.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, she ran for protection. And so, you know, this is what these guys, they feed into this image of black men are dangerous.
Black men are predators.
Mm-hmm.
That they will sit there, ravage your daughters sexually, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And they feed right in the narrative. But these niggas don't give a fuck. You know?
Now, how frustrating is it is that, you know, you understand, right, that you're in the middle of a war, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're at a war with an enemy that has overwhelming firepower, overwhelming manpower, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And has control of the media, right?
Mm-hmm.
And has control over almost all the food supplies and the water supplies.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So you want to fight with this enemy, basically a Goliath, right?
Yeah.
And you got people in your own camp, okay, who seem to be completely oblivious to what's going on and think that the enemy's woman is the way to victory.
Again, it's woman's victory. Hey, you know, one other thing that I think Taz made a very good point that I caught on, that a lot of dudes that don't want to label the pro-black perspective, because, you know, you're pro-black by default because you're black regardless. They don't want to use this term or in around certain spaces because they're trying to please that Becky. You know?
Well, Hmm.
Yeah, which makes sense because by implying that you can't be around white people like that, especially that woman that you're trying to get in between her legs. You can't let her know you diss.
Well, you know, that would make sense because I believe Tommy Curry said that white women are the mothers of white supremacy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the fact that you even dealing with her, to me, is already treacherous.
Mm-hmm.
See, I come from a different mindset. You see, I don't understand this idea that this generation have when you embrace your enemies. There should be all kinds of internal conflict going on, physical conflict. We should be having wars, right? Internal wars right now. There should be a cleansing going on, a purging of certain types of people. But we can't do that because we're embracing our enemies.
Mm-hmm.
If we were Chinese, this wouldn't happen. They would have been done something to purge themselves of inner enemies.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's what other races do. When they find turncoats and coons or whatever, they get rid of them.
They don't even hesitate.
Yeah,
It's off with your head.
Yeah, black people embrace them.
Mm-hmm.
See, you couldn't go amongst Cubans and become a ciabatta. They'll kill you.
Mm. Yeah.
Go amongst some hardcore Cubans, right? Start acting like some kind of house Negro. Get cut your throat.
Mm-hmm.
These other races don't play those kinds of games. Only black people do that.
Play a lot of games.
Yeah. Check this out. You take an Arab dude, right? Say he come from Saudi Arabia, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know he can infiltrate the black community without wearing a disguise?
Yeah.
He ain't got to be dressed up at like nobody special. He can come in looking like Aladdin.
Mm.
He can float in on a magic carpet and still infiltrate your community.
That's sad.
But you can't go to Saudi Arabia and do that.
Hell no, you get your fucking head knocked off your shoulders.
Yeah, they're not gonna let you infiltrate their community. They're gonna look at you like you're crazy. But one of them can come over here and infiltrate our community. You can set up a shop, sell chicken, pizza, walk around with a turban. He ain't even gotta change the way he look or dress. Nothing. Walk around with a turban on. They say, no, yo, we calling him Aki. And because he a Muslim or whatever, we on some, assalamu alaikum. Next thing you know, we up there telling them all our personal business. And then he's shitting on your kids that come up in there. He calling them all kinds of bastards and niggas and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah, infiltrate your community. That's because we accept we embrace enemies.
Mm-hmm.
So they get away with this. And you can't go to Chinatown to do that.
Nope.
Go to Chinatown here in this country, any Chinatown, and try to infiltrate them and see what happens to you. You see? And we got too many scared Negroes who have turned their back on our community, who have sold out for whatever reason, whether it be money, whether they sold out purely out of fear. but they make it more dangerous for the rest of us.
But you know, it goes back to how you love what you see in that mirror. Once you hate and disgust what you see, you're going to be detrimental. You're going to be destructive towards others. It's evident. It's logic. You know.
Yeah, in some cases, you know, we like to. You see, I don't totally buy into that. In all cases, I think some Black people hate themselves. But I don't think all Black people who are coons hate themselves. I don't. I think some absolutely love themselves, can't get enough of themselves. They just don't give a damn about the rest of us. Care less about you. And they don't mind selling the rest of us out. You know, some will do it just purely for money. But some of them, it's not even a personal issue. It's not like they don't even hate their own kind. They're just doing it for money. Some of them, their minds are so messed up that they don't even do it for any kind of morality or anything like that. It's just that they want the money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that sums it up.
Yeah.
Oh snap! Look like a famous comedian died today.
Oh.
Or yesterday.
Oh.
John Weatherspoon.
Get out.
Yeah, I'm on Facebook right now. Somebody's posted. Let me check. Well, I don't know if Wikipedia updates their things. Let me type.
Oh no, you might want to verify that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to verify that shit.
They come out with a this person died thing every day.
Yeah, I know. But normally, I wonder how fast Wikipedia update their shit. Let me check. Because if this happened this recently, it won't be in a system like that quick. But it wouldn't be surprised because the guy's like in his 70s now.
Hey, what's up, Jay and Frankie? What's going on?
I'm gonna verify it now.
Yeah, so Chaos, what you got to say about the topic?
Hold on. I spelled it wrong. Oh damn, I spelled it wrong. I can't find my Wikipedia. Shit. Besides the topic for tonight, damn. I think I said so many things. I'm not sure I was on topic. I'm gonna double check.
Yeah. Your topic, I don't know if you can see it down there. It says
abandoning.
Yeah, from abandoned Black boys to adult ratchet, effeminate Black males. The price of failed fatherhood in the Black community.
Okay, I see now the title. Okay. I think I said this before. I did a stream on this somewhat on not on this, but in regards to the direction I find with the boys. I posed a question out there, said, mothers, I feel as though you should will you willing to give your sons to the father? Because let's say this is all issue that these males don't have no direction, right? And hell, they even got no masculinity in them. So I would say, for that question, will you willing to give your sons to the father if he wants it, or just give it to him, right?
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, you remember that? Yeah. And to be honest with you, Max, I know one lady. Let's just say she had a problem me even creating that broadcast.
Why?
Because in her mind, and this is from her own experience, she feels that the man in her life that she had kids with, she said that some of these dudes don't even want to raise their own sons. Don't want
them. Right about that.
And I said, Okay, but what's the point? What's the issue with the question asked? What so that means if you feel in that way, you're not gonna willing to give him to the father. You know, the question asked, and this is not just to her, but to any woman in general. If you feel these boys are, going to be problematic, like you said earlier tonight, Max, wouldn't it make sense to just give them to the father?
Not in all cases, no.
Okay. Or if not the father, some man is close family that you could trust, like either your grandfather or I can't say uncle. I don't know about these uncles nowadays. They're questionable nowadays.
See,
But an actual man, you know what I'm saying?
See, here's my position, right?
Mm-hmm.
So again, like organization begins with the willing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so what a better way to start, say a new Black cultural revolution, right?
Mm-hmm.
When we start with the willing, the fathers, the Black fathers who are willing, right? I mean, a lot of them. Let's see, because now we put the impetus on Black men because they say that they want better, right?
Yep.
And this puts women in a position to force them to prove it.
Exactly. I agree.
I am willing to give you custody if you're willing to be a father to your children. See, then we get to see who and what is made out of whom.
Mm-hmm.
Made out of what?
Made of what?
See, that's a see the Black, the derelict Negro male is counting on Black women not changing or not coming up with such a preposition, right?
Bingo.
See, because it allows them to as comfort and apathetic laziness.
And to mess around and continue to, what's the word? Fuck around and peace.
Because as long as he can count on her, right, to be his boogeyman, right?
Mm-hmm.
The fuck has he got to change for?
Mm-hmm.
She's the one that's allowing this and letting him get away with it. Remember, it's the gynocracy.
This is true.
Wow.
They say, oh, she's taking my little resource, my little money, weak time.
Because if they with that proposition, right?
Mm-hmm.
They can't say it's gynocracy now because they are cooperating.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's the look, man. I told you, man. I'm one of the few who do this who is truly unfuckwittable, bruh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you wanted to be a real nigga? Well, here's your chance to prove it. You want to be a real man? You want your family, right? Here's your chance to really prove it.
Huh.
See, what they're doing is they're counting on her. Because if they can't use her as a scapegoat anymore, that's another excuse you have to take away from them.
Yeah.
And yeah, see.
See, they get look, man, I told you, man, I'm one of the few truly unfuckwittable when it comes to this shit.
But how long are we going to continue to entertain these kinds of conversations, right? Where guys seem to have all of the answers when it comes to women, but have no answers when it comes down to what the men are supposed to be doing. These guys don't have any answers, man. The whole conversation is based off of the woman being ratchet. She don't want to cooperate. she's destructive. She's tearing up the community. She's working against the black man. She won't let the black man do anything. I don't understand. How can you ask someone to submit to you that won't let you do anything?
I don't know how that works in the real world.
Yeah, how does that even, yeah. What kind of logic is that?
It's like Mary said, they want a patriarchal double standard.
What are you even talking about? Like,
that's one hell of a, like that would strike up a cultural revolution.
yeah, like if you're saying that she won't let you do this, she won't let you do that, she's destructive, she's uncooperative, and all kinds of negative things like that. And what the hell do you think is going to make us submit?
And what is she admitting to? You know?
Yeah,
Because now you have to step up as a dude. And most of these dudes, you're not even stepping up on that regards.
right. And then, like, what are you doing to make it submit? You just sitting there talking about, hey, you need to submit. First of all, what if she did, right? You Negroes won't do anything. What is your plan? What is your contingency? Okay, let's just say she did submit for a minute. Now what? What's your plan now? Mm-hmm. You know what, man? We should put these dudes on the spot. I bet you they don't have a plan.
No, they don't fix shit.
They won't have a plan to do anything. That they won't build any infrastructure. They won't create any new jobs. They won't do anything. Like, okay, man, what happens if you submit? Then what? What are you gonna do then? Mm-hmm. Now what? Well, the only issue with that, Frankie, is, you know, these men today, maybe if it was old school, like some old school dude with an old school mentality, maybe a throwback. But today, I don't know how you can trust these dudes out here today. Mm-hmm. I really don't. I mean, I would really just say to you to make sure you really vet the type of dude that you're going to leave your son with today. I don't care if he is the father. Make sure you know him inside out, because these dudes are funny today. A lot of them got kids and they're gay, or they're half crazy. There's something wrong with them.
Yeah. Don't give us that look, Christine Williams. Give us those eyes. Don't give us that look, girl. You know what we say.
Yeah, Christine. Yeah. So, what is the plan, right? So what happens if the black woman does submit? Then what is the plan? Okay, fellas, she submitted. Now what? What are you gonna do now? What's the plan? Like, what are we doing? Are we going to invade somebody? What are we doing? Are we building something? What are we doing? What's the plan? Are we making something? What are we doing? We setting something up? Mm-hmm. How much you want to bet on them? I have a plan.
Someone can't plan for next week, much less.
Well, if you listen to the rhetoric, right? Mm-hmm. Complaining is the plan. Whining is the plan.
So that's the plan. So black man, the black woman has submitted. So what are you going to do next? Well, we're going to Disneyland and we're going to whine.
Yeah, hey, we're gonna go our own way. We're gonna go to Brazil and get us some non-black women, since these chicks can't get in line. You know, we're gonna give these chicks like $2 and a burrito, and they get right in line. In this country, that's why you see a lot of dudes say, you know, if they got the money, they say, I'm gonna go out there, have some crazy sex. Maybe bring back an STD or something. And then in fact,
but I want to know what the plan is. We got to start asking these questions. Hey, man. All right, fellas, since y'all want the woman to submit, what is your plan once you submit? Then what? I bet you these dudes ain't got nothing to say. Well,
They're gonna say she's
we
never
go out
gonna
to,
submit.
you
That's
gonna do take out the Wendy's? Like what? What'd you say, civilian?
I said that. See, that's the thing. What their response is going to be is she's never going to submit.
Oh, oh, so
Because what their supposition is, right, that she's never going to do, that she's never going to submit. So why even try, right?
right. So basically, they can hide behind being derelict forever using that kind of using.
I don't have
That's
to
a cool way of being derelict forever and getting away with
it. Right? See, it's not me, it's her. It's never me, it's always her, right?
Like I could be as derelict. Hey man, you're derelict, man. Don't worry about that.
The reason
Never
why
mind that.
See, the thing is the reason why you see them being total pieces of shit, right? It doesn't have anything to do with actually being traumatized. Has everything to do is that they're derelict anyway, and they're not trying to change. They're trying to nest. So
just like a woman,
might as well be a complete prick, no compromise, no nothing, because I don't want the bitch to change because I don't want to take responsibility to begin with.
Yeah, let me go in, you lady raw without no comp. You didn't ask me to wear one. You know, so I don't need no permission. You know what I'm saying? All this stuff. You should protect yourself, girls. I'm irresponsible. If you have the kid, you're gonna have to take care of it.
Irresponsible when you met me.
I am now going to put the link in the chat for a little bit in case anybody want to come up before we close it out.
Yeah, give people a few more minutes. They want to come in before I call a night.
Come up and hang out with us and chat for a little bit. Because we're getting close to the end of the show. And so if anybody want to come up and talk, you see the topic, you got the thing you want to say. Come on up and hang out with us. We're just cruising towards the end of the show now. You said, hey, Frankie, they would just screw the submissive woman over. Yeah, possibly. Well, she's screwed over even before she submits. Okay. They don't have any intentions on doing anything for her. So the link is in the chat, y'all. Anybody want to come up and hang out with us for a little while before we close it down? Feel free. Hit that link there. We don't bite. We got honorable men. Come on up and hang out with us for a little bit if you want to before we shut the show down. We'll be shutting the show down in about another 20 minutes.
Okay.
Right
don't
now,
be a derelict. Come defend your dereliction to the
yeah. Come on up and say your piece. Nobody's gonna bite you or whatever.
Yeah.
You come on up and have a casual talk. You're more than welcome. All the ladies are welcome. Come on up and hang out with us before we get up out of here. We will be streaming again Thursday nights. We got to get more people to know the third gear. I think that people don't know that it's the Maximum Overdrive third gear. I think they're going to the the main channel, and they're not seeing that the channel is because that channel is down for right now.
Well, one thing you could do, Max, I think you could edit the channel that's down. I think you could put some of the thumbnail of the other backup channels right away. Like, I'm not sure there's like a secret video you could put there. Subscribe to Maximum Channel 3 right now.
No, I don't want to do nothing to it. I'm gonna leave it the way it is because
okay.
Because once that channel is ready to go live again, I will be going back on it. That's my main channel.
Okay.
So it's cool. People can still go there and sub and all that. That's fine. But as of right now, while it's down, I want them to come over here to the third gear, to maximum overdrive third gear. And I think they're going over to the main channel.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to start letting them know that this is the third, maximum overdrive 3G, third gear.
Mm-hmm.
Let me take a look.
Oh yeah, another thing, since Cerulean's up here, I'd like to thank Cerulean for giving the information on the DSM-2. I did reference it on one of my live streams a few days ago. So shout out to the Gray Regime. They do such great works with real information.
Yeah, man, the great matter of fact, everybody joined the Gray Regime gaming channel. They're starting to get a little hot and heavy now. They're starting to stream games more frequently.
Mm-hmm.
I
be scoping the game channel sometimes. I wish I could participate, but I be scoping it.
Yeah, we're slowly growing. The Gray Regime is growing, man. We got game channels coming up. We got things that we're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
We want to get the drive going. We got MTech coming soon. Maximum Technology people, look out for that. The Gray Regime will have its own technological channel. We call it MTech. That's coming. So yeah, and we're gonna start doing Christine. We're gonna start having. Okay, we got somebody who came up. Damn. Okay, Frankie done joined us. Hold on, let me bring her over. Man, I can't get on my thing there. All right. Hey, welcome to the Overdrive Third Gear. Dame Frankie, how you doing? Frankie, you hear me? I think her mic might be.
Probably doing something right now.
Oh, she got her mic on mute. Unmute your mic, Frankie. I think that's on her end.
Okay. All right. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry about that. It's been a while.
Hey, Frankie, how are you?
All right. Yeah. Unfortunately, you got a woman here who has no kids, so I can't give a real opinion on that. And I've always been the advocate of give the kid to the man. I've seen so many of my friends, once they have kids, it's like the guy can't do nothing right. I mean, it has to be perfect this way or done that way. I'm like, no, he's never learned. Let him do it. The kid will survive.
What do you mean? You're saying that the father or the son can't do anything right?
Okay, sometimes the mothers get overprotected, especially if there's a breakup between the two.
Mm-hmm.
From what I'm understanding, from what I've talked to friends, okay, when their child is born, doesn't matter if it's a boy or girl, but usually, especially if it's a boy, they fall in love with that child. And that's the most important thing to them. So it's going to be hard for them to trust this precious thing to a man who broke their heart. It's like they see the same. Now, some of it could be a power play, but it's usually a lack of trust. I cannot trust him. Trusted with my heart, he broke it. He lied to me, cheated on whatever the thing is, and stuff like that. And some of it is he's not going to do it right. And sometimes the child is just very young and they just not ready to let go of their mamas. You know, have you ever seen a case where the mama said okay and the baby was for it until the mama got out of sight and then they have a full-blown fit?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it could be too young. That's why sometimes it's not till they teenagers or 13, that magic number, see me 12 and 13, when sometimes the boys get on the nerves. she don't understand him, or she feels he's old enough to know how to protect himself, at least as far as call me if something is wrong. I had one friend that was so paranoid. Every time he was out of her sight, she was checking him over to see if he'd been messed with. I said, you traumatizing the child. You're messing with him. She said, no, I'm just inspecting him to make sure. And she's always questioning him. I hadn't seen her in a while, so I don't know how he turned out. But I know he's kind of wild, not wild as in going to other men. Just that I think he made her a grandmother already. Yeah, that thing. So from what I've seen, sometimes the mothers don't let go because they, that's my baby.
And
Hmm.
so you're saying, right, and so you're saying that you're an advocate for the mother to let the boy go with the father.
Yeah. Hmm.
Well, okay, I can see why you feel that way. You do sound old school, and you're probably looking at
No,
it from that aspect of.
yeah, but then I'm also unusual because I have no problem seeing myself as the weekend mom and the father become primary. The only thing that would make me hesitate about doing that, but it's no longer a problem, was my mom was alive. If I had gotten pregnant and had miscarriage, she would have fought more to have the baby with her more than I would have and stuff like that. The only thing I might have a problem with the dad would be that the baby would be everywhere with him. In a sense, there's some things I think baby should not be near, like, or he'd be busy doing this and that, and the baby would either be with his mom and not necessarily with him. But I miscarried, so we never found that out.
Oh,
So,
sorry.
mhm. But the
What you
only
talking
thing
about?
that
You
made
talking
me
about?
hesitate, because if my mom wasn't in the picture, I would have had no problem being primary and being a weekend mom and stuff like that. It's not
You
that I
talking
doubt
about?
that I could be a good mother. It's just that I never wanted to be a single mom and stuff like that. Yes, I know. You're having sex, you're not married. Yes, that's gonna happen, but I never really wanted to, and that's a lot of trust. So when it happened, I was
Let
like,
me
I was under a lot of stress.
let me jump in there for a second. Now you said baby. You kept
Hmm.
saying baby.
Yeah,
Now,
you thinking
but,
teenager?
but wait a minute. But what age are we talking about? Are we talking from the age of birth to what? To what age?
Okay. Usually I've seen moms kind of loosen up a bit around 10 years old. Then they loosen up a little bit to let the dad take more. Like it's mostly like weekend stuff. It
Uh,
depends
10,
on it
10
depends on the
years old is
woman.
not a 10
But
years old is not a baby. That's not a
okay,
baby.
if it's still in diapers, and I've seen 2 year olds still in diapers,
So
I
you said
consider
two
it a
or
bit.
10. Wait a minute. Did you say 2 or 10?
I said 10.
10 like 1-0?
Yeah, uh-huh.
No, that's not a
That's
baby. What is a 10-year-old doing in diapers?
No, you
He doesn't have
said
any medical.
you said two. I thought you was telling me you don't
No.
consider
I
a
said
2 year old
10.
baby. Okay.
No. 10.
Yeah.
10.
Well, 10 is usually when I see the moms kind of loosen up a little bit and the father be able to take the child away for like the weekend or something like that.
Okay, yeah.
Um, hmm.
That's cool. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It's about right.
Yeah. Yeah. But
I,
if it's
I,
younger
I mean,
than
I
that,
think 10,
but if it's
I
younger
think
than
10
that,
is a,
usually the mom or the child have a problem with it.
yeah, you see, I think 10 is a bit later on, maybe around 6, 5, 6. Maybe you start spending some time with the father at least one day a week,
It, it could it,
so
it could
yes,
happen,
you
but
build up that
mhm. It could
so they
happen,
can
but
build
it
up that
depends on
connection.
the woman and the man and their relationship to each other. If it's toxic, it might be some hesitation. But I've seen it
Well,
where it is have been done. I've seen it
if it's
where
toxic,
he
that
had
shouldn't.
from the time the child was a baby every weekend. He had, oh no, every other weekend. And let me correct that. Every other weekend he had his child.
Yeah, but you see the toxic thing, right?
Yeah.
You see, you can't both. Okay, here's my problem with the toxic thing.
Hmm.
If you're having a toxic relationship, and that seems to be what turns you guys on, then you can't love your child because you can't do both. So,
Okay.
my thing is just here: if you have a toxic relationship with a man that you had children with, go ahead and get a child up for adoption because neither one of you love the child.
Okay.
Because you're more interested in your toxic relationship than taking care of your own child and what's good for your child. So you may as well give him up for adoption because you don't care about him no more.
Okay. Well, it depends on the level of toxicity because sometimes it could be they just toxic when they with each other, but they have no toxicity towards the child. It's just
No,
that
no, no, no.
there might be a little distance put in, for
Nah,
whatever reason.
nah, we're not even talking about whether it's from the child. We're talking about against each other. You see, but here's the deal.
Mm-hmm.
When you're having a bad, you see, a child needs both parents, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And it's important for the child to see two functioning parents,
Mm-hmm.
okay? That's
Okay.
why I always say, right, to these guys when they leave their baby mamas or whatever, okay,
Mm-hmm.
you have to treat your baby mama, right, with some respect. You can't allow your son or your daughter to see you mistreat their mother. That's their mother.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so if you have a toxic relationship with the baby's father, that's the baby's father.
Mm-hmm.
So if you seem to care more about having a toxic relationship with him, then you don't care about the child.
Okay. What
Yeah,
did
you're more
okay,
interested
we
in
talking
calling.
about that
Wait a
you
minute.
talking about they
You're more
being
interested in
in
calling
the
him
in the
names and sabotaging his car and worrying about what girl he's
oh, okay.
with. Yeah, you're more interested in that. You don't care nothing about the child.
Okay, I haven't really seen or dealt with that level of toxicity. I'm meaning one where they didn't want to hang around each other long. It'd be like she'll drop off the child, spend the weekend, they say hi and bye, and that's it, and they keep on going. And vice versa. He drops off the child, says hi and bye, and they just don't have words with each other because they know they're gonna start getting combated. So they tend to like suppress it and just deal with each other at a distance, as in hi and bye. That's what I'm used to. It could be
Well,
because I'm in a
yeah,
small town and everybody kind of know each other, but there's
well,
something in their relationship that they got to the point where they just high and by and they just doing everything for the child, and they
exactly,
keeping their
Christine
issues
Williams.
out of it.
Right. You know what? And I agree with what Christine Williams just said. Right. Two immature people with children.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
not about. You see, here's the deal. When you
Mhm.
have children, right?
Mhm.
It's no longer about you or him.
Mhm.
It's not. It's about the children. It's about the child. And if you two were so into each other to the point where, okay, well, you know what? You're carrying on this toxic relationship, then both of you are selfish and neither one of you care about the child. All you care about is having a problem with each other.
Mhm.
That's all you care about.
Mhm.
If you really cared about your child, right? The big thing to
Uh-huh.
do is be like, okay, you know what? Listen, you and I don't get along. Great, fine. Let's throw that away. We don't get along, but for the children, let's behave. Okay.
That's what.
I don't want to act like. Listen, I don't want to act like I'm behaving well. I want to behave well because I don't want to carry. I no longer want to carry a grudge against you.
Okay.
So I want
Well.
our friendship to be genuine and
Oh,
authentic.
okay. Okay, well, that's usually what I've seen. Now, there is some, I think it's also maturity level too, because some
Mhm.
people, they just immature and they just in that little, that little level. I can't explain it. We don't get it. Um, and we just try to do the best for the kids and stuff like that. But or it could be they just kept themselves different. Like the man walked away. He his parents are like the go between. They come pick up his kids and bring them to every town he's staying in because he can't deal with the mother, but he wants to spend time with his kids. He wants to have a relationship with his kids, but he can't deal with her, the mother, or vice versa. In another case, um, mhm, mm.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Man, I need to lay it down, guys.
Oh shoot! Dang it! I accidentally turned the volume up.
You guys,
Okay,
Dang it! I
Sabrina.
can't find it. I accidentally turned the volume.
Yeah, we're about to
Sorry
shut it
about
down at
that.
3 o'clock. Yeah. Okay, Dane Will, I'm glad you came up. We're about to shut it down here. It's 3 o'clock in the morning.
Oh
About,
yeah,
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 about to shut it down and get some sleep. But listen,
yeah.
don't be come up next time as well. We'll be again here. We'll be going to live again Thursday night at the Ceruleans on channel. So
Mhm.
we'll be going live Thursday night again. So come on by again, and you can come up again, and we can finish this conversation if you want. But okay,
Uh, okay, but if it's the same topic, I think I'm gonna kind of stay out of it a little bit because hey, I don't have any kids.
oh no
And
no no no
I,
no 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 no, it'll be a different topic. It'll be a different topic. You know,
okay,
it's a
all
nice
right,
topic. It's a nice topic. All right,
all right.
everybody. Thanks for for coming in, stopping by, Cerulean Chaos, my brothers, and Dame Frankie for showing up. Shout out to my strong peoples in the chat, Christine Williams, Rhonda Harris for showing up, you know, and everybody that came by and checked it out tonight. Remember, we are now in the Kylie Jane 79. Remember, we are now on the maximum overdrive third gear. So remember, 3G, okay? The main channel was down right now. It won't be back up until January. Okay, so right now this is the channel that we're operating on, the maximum overdrive 3G, which stands for third gear. Okay. Thanks everybody for tuning in, and remember, okay, the power is in the black is the people, and therein lies the power. Want to bid everybody a good night. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and peace.
Gotta get on the grind, get a minute up to the 9-9. Just the pick and shout, get found in the nighttime. Gotta get mine, ain't taking no shots on the lounge and top of the phone. Call up my Harvey, tape that home, polishing this back 10 chrome. Get it like weekend, it's so cold, to blink this once again in the time. In the time, we can work, my way to the curb, so I swerve and roll down. So pick up the rest of my goods, let's straight on the mission for counting them all now. Joe, when it hit the ball, gonna ride like every day. With four more goods, I'm a pro with this stroke until we get up in the grave. And let it in the drive lane. It's part of the place and quickly rolled up. Gotta make that money, man. I'm out of the rising fast that showed up. But can I come home? So drop it on time when I'm into the room. Them dumb. I'm not shaking the dice and hit him in naturals on the fruits. And I'm looking nothing. You better not think it's funny. I'm coming up with big nine quarts. Cause flesh be loving is funny. I'm giving up love to the hustle. All I'm drinking, busting, making that money. Stand on your feet. And you better believe, gotta have that cheese for the green leaves. Never catch me sleep. Steady on the grind, get my stand down from a crime. And I hit it split 99. Gotta keep that bankroll, making me say a boy, these niggas will die. Here's the thing, I'ma lick up that 211. Gotta get what's mine, been seven. Been kicking up dust, I'm a trailing, failing 1 and 7. That's how it is, and I got to have it in the night. What? Missing to check the meal, to still be real. Thugging on the clock, like creeping on the girl. Won't sleep till I'm done up. Gotta place that gun up. Put up another plot and scheme. Gotta make some breakfast, so another put up. Gotta get that business on slanging rocks. Oh man, here comes the crooked ass bounce. So I dash, I duck, and I hide behind a tree, making sure the bobos don't see me. Now my back sack of rocks, hell yeah, I stuffed them. Police on my draws, I had to fall. Yeah, I still don't trust them. Now my game is tight as hell is my game. Easy, CPTO, Eric Wright, it's all the same. Now those my trip on how I stacks my grip. I got